Is this the one? I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. Let's do this one. Yeah, why not? Let's welcome to Geeks with Kids. Look at how energetic I am right now after all the antibiotics. I don't even think my eyes are fully open. I'm super. Anyway, I can't say that on
this is the show of shows. We've got I'm half broken, you're half dead, and we got 3 no shows.
Yeah. So
welcome to the end of the year, everybody.
Welcome to the end of the year. Well, this will be a nice little intimate chat. We can actually talk about the things we like, though. That's the one thing I'm going to enjoy. So we're going to do our best of the year, and we're going to talk about the shows. We can do a couple. We can do a couple at this point.
We'll keep it simple. We may have drop-ins, so we may have drop-ins from people tnight. So.
That's fair. Well, we're going to do our best of this year. We're going to talk about our favorite movies, our favorite video games, our favorite TV shows of the year, why we like them so much, and, if you should watch it or play it or watch it. That's all the same thing. We should have done music too. I feel like that would have been a really interesting.
I thought about saying that. I thought about saying like song of the year, but I was like, I don't really pay enough attention to music to know what came out this year. The only song that came out this year that I know came out this year that I could possibly say would be the Church's single that came out back in like May.
Oh man, and I was really hoping it would be followed by a full album.
Yeah. They were due for one probably then maybe
year.
This year.
Yeah.
They do usually every 2 years, and it's been a year and a half since the last one came out.
Yeah, and COVID usually slows things down, so I wouldn't doubt them having an album next year. That'd be amazing. We'll do a Churches episode. Fuck, we should do that. We'll talk about the songs that aren't on like full releases, like the Mirror's Edge song and stuff like that. Chiverches. Oh,
they have a song they did for I don't know if anybody else knows this, but they had a song they did for the Hunger Games.
Yes, they did. Was it the last Hunger Games, or was it?
It was for Catching Fire.
Yeah, I didn't mean like the new.
But I don't know.
I meant the last one.
No, I know, but I mean, like, I don't remember if it was part 1 or part 2. I think it was part 2.
Let's just say part 2 because that was
that sounds around that movie came out around the height of where they're really starting to gain popularity in that. So
for sure. All right. What do you want to do? You want to do video games? You want to do movies? You want to do TV shows first?
I would like to do movies first because I mean, like, if either one of us wants to snag it up while it's available before somebody else came on and take it, but I actually don't want to talk about that.
You don't want to talk about Spider-Man?
No, Spider-Man.
Didn't we do an episode on Spider-Man? For me personally, I think Across the Spider-Verse is my favorite movie this year.
To be honest, still haven't seen it.
You know what?
Have not seen it.
It might not be my favorite movie this year because I didn't put it at the top because I assumed Marcus or Hawk would talk about it.
My assumption was either Dave or Hawk was going to take Oppenheimer, which is why I chose not to take Oppenheimer as my favorite of the year.
I was going to pick Barbie.
Then in retrospect, I don't think I would have picked Oppenheimer anyway because I love that movie. It was a masterpiece. It was such a visual spectacle and
for sure
such a great movie. But the fact is I've only watched it once, and I, to be perfectly honest, don't have any real desire to watch it again anytime soon. And that to me isn't what I equate as a movie of the year for me. Is like, for me, best movie is a movie that I want to watch over and over and over again. Like, as soon as it's done, I want to turn it off and watch again. Yeah, only 2 of us right now, Taffy. We got one guy's playing Conan, one guy's getting drunk, and the third guy is MIA. So feel free to share your thoughts in the chat as you go.
You know what? If Taffy also wants to jump on, I'm fine with that too.
But you want to be on a podcast, Taffy?
Yeah. Or at least let us know. We're talking about our favorite movies of the year. What's yours? You know what? I'll go with Barbie. But I'll talk about it after you.
Yeah, I'm going with one that I might come out of left field here, which I thought Wrath of Man was going to 2 years ago. But my favorite movie of the year was Air.
I don't even know what that is.
It is the Ben Affleck directed movie about the Nike acquisition of Michael Jordan as their number 1 spokesman and how it changed sports marketing as we know it today.
Where did this movie happen?
This came out back in May. I thought originally it was supposed to be just a streaming service only, but they did 2 months in theaters first. It's directed by Ben Affleck. It stars Ben Affleck, stars Matt Damon, Jason
Matt
Bateman,
Damon.
Viola Davis. Chris Tucker makes his return to acting in this movie. It's such a phenomenal. It's a great encapsulation of the '80s and the atmosphere of it, and it's all about like just believing in yourself and dreaming big and just going for it no matter what. With the core of the movie is it's Matt Damon plays Sonny Velasco, who works for Nike. He is their he's their sports rep guy, like for the basketball division. Basically, it's like whenever they have a new season coming up and they're trying to recruit players to be marketed for the company, he's the guy who goes out and picks who he thinks are the most viable players. And he decides with this year to just basically go all in and push his own personal agenda and suggest that instead of trying to acquire three mediocre players who are all rookies, we go after what I think is going to be the best player ever to exist. A brand new 18-year-old rookie by the name of Michael Jordan.
Oh shit.
And it's all about him pushing and trying to sign him to become their spokesman for the Nike company and the creation of the Air Jordans, and how Michael Jordan wanted nothing to do with this company. He hated Nike. Nike was known for runners at the time, and that was it. But it's just all about like the persistence and the will and the drive. And Matt Damon has like an amazing speech towards the end of it, where he basically like pivots in the middle of this presentation to Jordan and just delivers this like big, like, oh my God, speech to him. I love Ben Affleck's decision to not show the actor who plays Michael Jordan in it.
That was my question. I was going to ask if Michael Jordan was
he's constantly shown from the side, just a little odd. You don't see his face. He's always shown from the back or a little bit from the side, or you see his hand. And it was a decision they made because they knew that they weren't going to have the actual Michael Jordan in the movie. So they didn't want to put somebody who was very obviously not Michael Jordan on the screen and pull you out of the experience. And I thought that was a brilliant directing choice. Viola Davis as Michael Jordan's mother and basically his like career manager, who builds this kind of bond and friendship with Matt Damon's character because they both basically see the same things in him. Like everything that she believes about her son, this guy believes about him too, and it kind of creates this bond between them. And she has such a powerful performance in it. Like I'm surprised you haven't heard of it or haven't like looked up, but 100% go check it out. It's on Prime. It's a wonderful movie. I've watched it 4 times already. The last time I watched it, as soon as it was done, I immediately wanted to restart and watch it again because I just love it that much.
Damn, that is the showcase of a good movie.
Yeah, Ben Affleck can do no wrong directing in my eyes.
Agreed. I can't think of a movie.
I don't think he's
bad.
And he loves picking like these obscure little topics from movies that people don't think about. Like, who would have ever thought of telling the story of Argo? But he found that story and was just like, this is something I need to tell. It's like, who would have ever thought of telling the story about how like Michael Jordan became the first sports athlete, like the sports marketing athlete, where a brand was designed around him and not him being folded into a brand.
That is insane. I gotta remember not to lean on my hands. My so hurts so much. I've been sick for the past while. People who are listening, watching. That sounds interesting. Taffy says that it's oh no, you said it was on Prime. We're talking about Haunting in Venice in the chat, and that's another movie I don't want to see.
I almost picked Mutant Mayhem. I will say that I almost picked Mutant Mayhem as my number 2 movie. That was my number 2 movie of the year. Other than Oppenheimer's number 1, but it's just
I don't think it is for me.
To me, it's I think Oppenheimer is the best movie that was made this year. But as far as entertainment value and what I deem as my best, Air is number 1. Mutant Mayhem is number 2.
For me personally,
I just don't want to not recognize the cinematic masterpiece that is Oppenheimer.
Like gorgeous film.
Yeah,
wonderfully acted. The script was amazing. The way that he edited the film to look at different perspectives of events that were happening, based on, the color grading and everything. It
Yeah.
was a phenomenal movie. It's not my number one movie. I
Yeah.
still think
My fa-
I think Barbie is the best written, like the smartest movie
yeah.
of this year. I think it
My
was
my father's
amazing.
already watched Oppenheimer 3 times, but he has dementia, so it really only counts as one.
I don't think my parents have seen it yet. I feel like my mom would not be able to stand the intensity of it. My dad would love that movie. Well, maybe I'll watch it with him over the holidays. I think Barbie might be my number one film this year. I think Margot Robbie was
I can
brilliant
see
in
that.
it. I think what's his name? Um what's his name from Breaker High? Oh my god.
Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling, my brain is dying. Was fantastic as Ken. I thought it was really smart. I saw it with my kids. I saw it with my wife. We laughed, we cried. My daughters did not understand what was going on, but when they get older, they'll understand a little bit more. Um, I thought I thought the whole Ken's journey through patriarchy was amazing, and it killed me. It killed me so much. Taffy definitely watch Barbie.
Yeah, yeah, definitely see it. For me personally, I really, really enjoyed the movie. I felt it was at times was a little too on the nose with its message, but then again, I'm like, that's kind of part of what it's supposed to be a little on the
Yeah,
nose. It's supposed to be very in your face about what they're talking about.
you've
Like,
never seen Godfather? Let me tell you. Oh my god, that
oh,
joke killed me. Or
I hate Godfather.
the Zack Snyder joke, which I thought was hilarious. Or I can't be a fascist. I don't control railways or control the flow of money. Oh my god, it's so funny. Um, that being said, I think my number two would probably be Across the Spider Verse. We talked about it this
Yeah.
year. And then
I think I'm
Oppenheimer is
gonna finally
definitely up
watch
there.
that. I'm gonna finally watch that over the break because I got my holiday schedule for work, and
Mhm.
I have a lot more time off than I thought I was gonna get, which is kind of surprising. So maybe I'll get caught up on some of these movies and shit that I've been missing.
You know, it's a really good movie that people probably have forgotten about is Nemora, which was on Netflix. It's an
Don't know that.
animated film about a changeling, and it's set in this futuristic medieval esque world.
Yeah.
It has Hit Girl as Nemora.
Okay.
It's really cool. It's a really good movie.
Yeah. I want
Highly
to
recommend.
I want to do this too since it's just the two of us and like obviously we got a little more time to talk about stuff. And instead of talking about specific movies, I want to say that like god damn, this has been an amazing year for horror movies.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like in a lot of really big surprises. Like starting off the year like with Scream 6, I was not expecting much going into
Was it
it
good? I
because I'm
didn't.
like,
And my friends were like, "Don't watch it," and I was like, "Oh,
no, it's
I want to see it."
great. It is it they it is as Scream as you know it, but with a massive shot of adrenaline. Like they really revamped how that movie is told, like by just making it so fast paced and so changing a lot of the rules that they've had set in stone for previous ones, and even like breaking a lot of like it's. I thought it was fantastic, and I really liked that. I loved the non-inclusion of Nev Campbell in that movie was really good because then you finally get to know the
Wait,
new
what?
characters.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
she
not in
wasn't
that
in
one.
it. Yeah. I did know that.
Yeah, she's in a contract negotiation, so she wasn't in it. So it was just Courtney Cox from the original cast. And even hers kind of she takes a bit of a backseat in this one. So you really get a chance to finally get to know the new characters, which sucks now that they fired half the cast for the next one and they're
Yeah,
retooling the series again. And I'm like, I wanted to know
I like those characters too.
I wanted to know the conclusion of the core four characters.
Yeah,
But I mean, like on top of that, the new Saw movie, Saw 10, was a
I forgot that was it.
phenomenal entry, the best entry in the series.
Ooh,
The way
that is a high
the
bar.
way that because they did something that the series has not done yet, which is dramatize and really character study John Kramer in this and make him the forefront, not what he's doing, but make him the forefront and really develop his relationship with Amanda and really develop like and understand why he's doing what he's doing. You know, he's still misguided in his own mind, obviously. He's still a monster, but you get a better understanding after this movie of why he's doing it. It's a very personal movie. Um, Thanksgiving was such an incredible return to form for slasher movies. What was the Totally Killer?
Totally
Came
Killer
out
was
of
so
nowhere.
good.
Came out of nowhere. Back to the
What?
Future, the slasher movie, so amazing.
I did
Like,
not expect that movie to be as good as it was.
oh my god! Like it was just such a wonderful. There was I don't know if there was really many horror movies this year that I watched or I wasn't like really impressed with. It was
Winnie
just
the
such a
Pooh?
great movie for them. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed it for the low budget shit fest that it was. If you're going into that movie expecting greatness, you're sadly mistaken.
That's fair.
I think the only one that I really watched this year that kind of disappointed me was I watched one recently called "It's a Wonderful Knife," which was it's a slasher version of It's a Wonderful Life story. Stars Justin Long, Joel McHale.
Oh.
It was I enjoyed it for a part of it, but it's just like it took a really weird turn partway through the movie, and like it went into this like weird supernatural element in the movie that was very jarring. Kind of came out of I didn't really make sense, but other than that, like I love Justin Long absolutely hamming it up. Was this year? Is this year the one that what the fuck is the name of that? The other one he did with Bill Skarsgård with the I can't think of the name of it. The one with the Airbnb with Bill Skarsgård, Justin Long. Was that this year or was that last year?
Was that this year? I know what you're talking about. What's it called? Oh my God,
I can't think of the name. I think it was last year, but I watched it this year.
That was
Same with
Barbarian,
Talk to Me.
Was it?
Barbarian, yes.
Was that this year?
Yeah, I think Barbarian was last year, but I watched it this year, so I'm associating it with this year, which I think Barbarian, other than a bad ending, was one of the greatest horror movies I've seen in a long time.
Barbarian. He was also in Goosebumps, Justin Long, and he was good in that. The show was all right.
Yeah. But yeah, I just saw overall great year for horror movies, great year for biopic movies as well. There was a lot of those that came out this year that I thought were fantastic. Dumb Money was wonderful.
Barbarian was last year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. TV, I guess.
Yeah, I went first last time. I'll let you go first this time. What's your show?
Well, to continue the horror theme, my favorite show this year.
I know what it is.
Was The Fall of the House of Usher.
Yes.
Which we didn't get a chance to talk about. Sorry, as I cough myself to oblivion.
That's okay. You just got to hydrate. So.
Yeah. Right. The fall of the
House of Usher
is a I gotta remember the name. Mike Flanagan joined. I think it's his last one for Netflix before he moves over.
It is his contract's done with him now. So
yeah. So now he's moving over to Prime, which is more money and creative freedom, which I like for him because he can do no wrong in my eyes. Nothing I've seen of his has been bad, which is incredible.
I still have yet to watch a lot of his catalog. I mean, to this point I've only watched Midnight Mass in its entirety,
which was phenomenal.
Yes, which was I think everyone's pick. I actually re-listened to our podcast of the best from 2020 or 2021 a couple days ago at work, and I was like trying to remember what our picks were that year, and it was like, oh, that's the year of Midnight Mass, where like as soon as Dave picked it, every one of us was just like wouldn't shut up about it.
I mean, I love that show. I think The Fall of the House of Usher is his best work so far. This show is based on a short story by Edgar Allan Poe called The Fall of the House of Usher. Basically, it's about this family that sort of just, their house dies. Like not their physical house, but their family. But he reworked this into a limited series where each of the episodes is also based on a different Edgar Allan Poe poem or short story. All of it culminating into the last episode, which is based on The Raven. I think the last one is The Raven, right?
I think you told me before the last one was The Raven. Yeah.
And it's just so smart and it's just so well shot and it's terrifying and brilliant and the cast is phenomenal.
I'm assuming a slow burn like Midnight Mass kind of thing.
No.
No? Oh.
Not really. No, it kicks off at the start like you're like this house is
Ooh.
like they are fucked, and then they show each of them getting fucked even more, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Um, this show made me go and be like, why haven't I watched any of the Haunting series? So I ended up watching Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, and I'm like, why didn't I watch any of these many years before? Because
Yeah,
they're all so good.
that's the thing is I completely avoided all of those because I in general don't like supernatural horror. I don't like
That's fair.
hauntings, possession, that kind of those themes for horror movies don't do much for me. Even though they are the ones that generally terrify me the most, they're not the ones I find the most entertaining.
Mhm.
Which is why like I wasn't sure I was going to enjoy Midnight Mass when I first started watching it because everything to me from hearing about it pointed in that direction. Boy,
Yeah.
was I wrong.
Yeah, yep.
Oh boy, was I wrong. I think that's why I couldn't get into Bly Manor or Hill House and that. But after watching Midnight Mass, now I'm like, now I want to because now I see the creative genius behind it. So
Yeah. I didn't after watching those two previous series, you can totally see Mike Flanagan honing his craft as he keeps going further. Like I watched the other one, like the other shows he's done, like the Midnight not Midnight Club. I think it is
is
called
that
the
what it's called? Yeah, Midnight Club, isn't it?
Yeah, Midnight Club as well, and Gerald's Game, and
I love that movie. That came out of nowhere.
I know, right? And
I was dating someone at the time, and she was like, "Let's watch this game and let's watch this movie, Gerald's Game." It just came out. I was like, I remembered it being a Stephen King story, and I was like, "All right, let's watch it." And I'm like, "What the fuck are we watching?" Like,
speaking of,
what are like an incredible story that no one's ever thought of?
I know.
Like,
Bruce Greenwood is the lead in The Fall of the House of Usher, and he takes them from Gerald's Game. So I'm just like, oh my god! And his slow like dissolving of his family and just like everything around him is just so brilliantly done. Basically the House of Usher in the series is a pharmaceutical company, and it's sort of run by his family and stuff, and it's just like all the shit. Oh, it's so topical and so good, and like he pulls in the best of each of his previous casts just to watch it, just to watch it. His sister is played by Mary McDonnell, so
yeah,
like those two,
the president
of Battlestar, she
the president of Earth 2,
Earth 2. Oh,
the
that's
Earthening.
So having those two powerhouses at the top of their game, or at least at the top of the cast, and then everyone below them was just like, yeah, we're already perfect. So yeah. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so weird to see Henry Thomas in all of these films too. Him being the ET kid. You're just like, oh yeah.
I'd love seeing him pop up and stuff. I love watching like any old like child actor that like didn't get destroyed like in their personal life and that just popping up.
Exactly.
How cool is it to see Macaulay Culkin get a star in the Walk of Fame recently?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like that was freaking awesome. And then like him like tearing up when Catherine O'Hara showed up to give a speech about him, and it was like, oh, it's so fucking sweet. Like
that is. Yeah. Anyway, go watch the Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to take us in a completely different approach. For my show is not scary at all. My show is one of the I love. Now,
is it the show that I got obsessed with because of you?
I don't know. That's Wrexham.
Yes, we'll talk about that after.
So I would love to Wrexham. Like that was one of those things where like I almost wanted to talk about that.
Let's talk about it after. Just do your pick.
Yeah, just because I didn't pick it just simply because I knew it came out last year. Even though I watched it this year, it came out last year, so I didn't want to I want to abide by the rules of what came out this year. But no, my other one is like I think everybody after I talked about it said that I got to go check out the show. It's going to be good. I don't know if anybody did, but mine is a show called Jury Duty, and this show it's in-depth documentary series about it's a 10 episode or 8 episode documentary series about the evolution of like the jury process in a trial, where for the first time cameras have been allowed to surveil the entire process from jury selection all the way up to the verdict at the end of it. And it's never been done before, and the reason that they're able to do it is because it's all bullshit. The entire thing is all made up of actors and actresses assuming the roles of the jury, assuming the roles of the judge, of the prosecution, of the defense, and everyone involved is an actor except for one guy, Ronald. And this one guy, the entire show is based around basically creating this world around him and seeing how far they can push things to what absurdity and still have him believe it. And I think I love this show so much just because it reminds me so much of the old show Joe Schmo Show, which was 3 seasons. They did 2 seasons back in the early 2000s, and in 2010 they revived it for 1 season. It was hosted by Ralph Garman from the Kevin Smith Babylon podcast craze, and it was a similar concept. It was a reality show where they were playing on all the reality tropes, and everybody involved was an actor except for one person. And I loved when I first heard the concept that this was being brought in, and I was like, fuck yes, I'm so happy. But what I love that they did with this show as opposed to Joe Schmo is they never let you in on the fact that it's fake throughout the series. Like, they tell you at the beginning of every episode what's going on, but at no point in any of the episodes do any of the actors break. At no point do we ever see them out of character. At no point do we ever see behind the scenes of what's happening. They tell it as if it is a true documentary. And then the last episode of the series is, okay, now let's pull the curtain back and reveal everything. And I love that they did that because it gets you so invested in the characters and what's going on. I just want to talk about a couple of the scenes in that absolutely kill me. It's first off, it's fucking hilarious. It is one of the funniest shows you'll ever see. There's this joke in the second episode that absolutely kills me every time I see it, where one of the jury members, actors, has an accident and has to be removed, and they call all the jurors into like this room, as they do in every episode, to talk about what's going on throughout the process. And they're all talking about this guy who got removed and about how much he meant to them already, like the stories he would share with them, and like the bonds he was creating with them, and meanwhile the main guy, the one who's not an actor, is literally sitting there like, I never spoke to the guy once. The guy never said a single word to me. But everyone around him has this like bullshit personal story, and they're pulling out all these origami cranes that the guy made for them, and they're like, we're all part of this like crane club. It's like, where's your crane? He's like, I never got a crane. And they're like, do what interactions? Like, what's your history with him? He's like, I don't know. I think I said like maybe one sentence, and it cuts to a flashback of like the guy walking past him, literally going, I'm going to go to the bathroom and rub one out before we start. Yep, you got to do what you got to do. And that's literally the only interaction the two of them had the entire time.
That's amazing. I have this available to me to watch. I just haven't had a chance to watch it.
If you sit down and watch it, you will binge it in one night, like easily. It's only eight episodes, like 25 to 30 minutes each episode. It's a really quick watch, and it's so good.
Taffy is talking the praises of the show in the chat too.
So. Oh yeah, the one guy who's like a wannabe inventor who comes up with all this like crazy crap throughout his chair pants that he wants to wear because they don't provide him with a chair in the deliberation room. So he creates his own version of like his own pants that have legs on them, so he can sit down. But then when he gets into the jury box, you can't manipulate them to sit down in a chair, and he's forced to take his pants off in the middle of the trial.
That's amazing. Let's watch the trailer for this, and then we'll show the clip that you.
All right.
You did. Share screen, Jerry, dude. All right. This might double audio for you. Sorry. We'll see how this goes.
When they say jury of your peers, I think that's accurate. I mean, how long does this normally take? Have you done this before?
Juror number 54.
Me? Ready, guys? Here we go.
This is the most unorthodox trial that I've presided over.
This literally feels like reality TV.
Oh.
Wait, why is James Marsden there?
James Marsden is one of the jurors. He plays himself.
That's
and he
amazing.
plays like a hyper fake version of him, like a hyper realized version of himself, where like he wants everyone to know he's James Marsden and how famous he is.
Is that why we have this clip?
No, this clip doesn't involve James Marsden. This is, I would say, probably like the most absurd they go in the series with this joke that's coming up. But it is, oh my god, I
He's
can't
not
believe
an
they
actual
went through with
juror
it.
though, and he wants to be a juror and can't.
Yeah, that's
Oh
the thing
my
is like
God, that's
so
so
at the
funny.
beginning he's trying to use his fame to get off of the jury because he doesn't want to be there because he wants to go. He has a potential movie coming up, so he wants to get off. But then he gets picked, as an alternate. So like
You
he's
can't be
forced
an
to be there,
alternate.
but he doesn't even get to be a juror. So it's like even insult to injury. And then like when the one guy gets injured and removed, the other alternate gets bumped up instead of him. So it's like even more of a fuck you to him.
Funny. That's so funny.
Everything's
But no,
fine.
he gets a lot of good stuff in this, and he goes for it. Like kudos to James Marsden in this
I
series.
like him as an actor, so
You will
Mad
like him
Max.
as a person after this.
Everything's fine. I'm feeling a little bit. I'm feeling kind of comfortable. She definitely wants to.
She's definitely trying to sleep with you.
Yeah. Okay. I can't. We're not married. You know what I mean? So I do have rules. You know what I mean? But Jeannie said that some guy she went to college with told her about this thing called soaking. Do you know what that is? Okay, so I can't in and out, like that's penetrative premarital sex. Like that's wrong, right? So soaking would be where I just put it in, and then it's like, what if we were just kind of bouncing, right? And it like wasn't me. Like what
Loopholes.
loophole? Exactly. Yeah. What if
So
what if
you
like
put
somebody
it in
was
and
like,
just freeze and sit still?
I stay still,
Right.
somebody else jumps on the bed, because then it's not me. Bed is just going up and down. I mean, that's.
So wait, so
Alright.
you'll park the car in the garage,
Exactly.
and then someone else will have to come in and jump on your bed?
I mean, whatever happens to the bed, it's like I can't really control that. God doesn't have to, know about that.
I mean, I'm glad that you're making progress.
For
How
sure.
can we help, sir?
Yeah, short of me being the person jumping on the bed. So I'm not going to do that for you, man.
No.
No, I'm not going to. If James
If
wants to
it-
jump on the bed, I don't really want to.
I mean, would you do that?
Well,
You may want to not get a sip of water for the next minute. You might choke.
Really? Yeah. I mean, no way. Seriously? Okay. All right. Cool.
oh, real quick though, is she know I'm coming in?
This was her idea.
All right.
This is going to be awesome.
Oh my God. Look.
Good luck.
What's the guy's name?
Ronald.
So when we meet up again on Monday, hopefully we hear closing statements. I say hopefully because who knows what's going to happen at this point. There have been so many just weird, crazy things that have
This
came
is
up.
this is the mark. This is Ronald, the actor or the non-actor.
Okay, wait, slow down. Okay. I mean, maybe this is common. I don't know, but I feel like this can't be that common because just crazy stuff keeps happening.
You want smaller or bigger jumps?
Smaller jumps.
Wait, bigger jumps.
Okay.
No, smaller jumps, James, please.
Okay, you're on the same page here.
James, you're really jumping. These are really big jumps, James.
Super excited to see what Monday brings at this point.
My face hurts from the infect. Oh my god. Oh my, ouch.
In the final episode, they go back
Don't
to that
tell
and
me.
they show like a lot of the
Oh,
or they
dude.
just show outtakes from that scene.
That's amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Oh my god. Maybe I'll watch that
Oh,
after this, but I can't. My face hurts so much already.
If you're gonna hurt from laughing, don't watch the show. Just trust me. Like, just wait till you wait till you can laugh
I
again
don't
because
wanna wait.
you will be losing your shit watching the show.
That's okay. Any other shows that really? I want to talk about Welcome to Wrexham because the second season came out this year.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it follows a football team trying to get promotion. They're owned by Rob McElhenney. Ernie? Oh my god, I can't say his name right
Yeah.
now. And
The Deadpool and
and-
Rob McElhenney.
Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. And after a disappointing first season, Not well, it wasn't disappointing, right? They just didn't make it right
They
at the end.
it just barely
Lost
did
out.
not get promoted. Like lost out on promotion.
So this year they ended up, revamping some things. They hired some new blood onto the team, and what I didn't realize, like, you guys told me to watch this, and this past year,
Like literally, I think we all started watching it like a month ago and binged it all.
yeah, and you guys were like, you have to watch this show, and I was like, okay, I like soccer, I like thing, but I love that you get to know the town. What I appreciate is meeting the people of the town and
Yeah.
hearing their stories. The second season, learning about the girls' team was probably some of my favorite episodes. Those two episodes were amazing. What I didn't expect was to cry so much in this season.
No, like I said when I introduced this to you guys, is I said like we all love Ted Lasso, we absolutely love Ted Lasso. This is Ted Lasso in real life. Like this plays out. Like this show is real life. It is actually happening. It is a documentary, but it plays like it is the most melodramatic sports movie you've ever seen. Like where everything that like could happen to trigger you emotionally is exactly what happens.
Like that one, footballer who's been trying to have a kid with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, their story killed me.
Oh my god! Like, but it ends so perfectly at the end of season 2,
So
and there
perfect.
he is in the crowd holding his baby. Like, it's like, you literally are like, you can't write this. Like, you
No.
can't write this shit, and here it is happening in real life.
And if they wrote it in a movie, people would be like, "Oh, that's bullshit. That would never happen in real life." It did.
This is
really
basically like this is proving that Ted Lasso is a true story. Like,
Yeah, I really
and
hope.
I wondered. I sat there wondering. I'm like, did they base Ted Lasso off of like what was happening with this series? But then you realize the timelines don't match up.
Not at all.
It just literally happened that after every season of Ted Lasso, exactly what happened in that show is what happened to this team. Like,
More or less, yeah. Oh my god, do you think the girls are going to play on the race course next year? I hope. Their
I
field
would
is
hope so.
terrible.
They had said once they get the new stadium, I think they said that they get upgraded to it.
I hope so, because
I hope so. I agree, though. I loved watching the story of the female team. Like those episodes were incredible. Like especially like after it had the tease at the end of Ted Lasso with like the talking about bringing in an AFC Richmond female team, and it was like, and then all of a sudden here they are showing like here's an English female soccer team, and they're just as good, if not better, than the men's team.
They were better than the men's team. Oh
You
my
know, the
God.
first team the first team in history to get an undefeated season. Like
in Wrexham history, yeah.
yeah.
A perfect 12 out of 12 games and then straight promotion. My God.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, Taffy's like, I want season 2 of Sandman. We all want season 2 of Sandman. I don't even think they've started. Nope, man. We do need it.
I haven't watched season 1, so
Oh, you should. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
What other shows have I seen this year that are really good? Scott Pilgrim Takes Off was really good. I don't know if you ended up watching it.
No. I was never really a big Scott Pilgrim person. I enjoyed the movie, but
it's really
it's not something that really like it didn't captivate me the way it captivated a lot of other people of my generation. Like
that's fair.
I think I might have been a little bit like a couple years too old for that show or for that movie when it came out.
Interesting, because I think it was made for our generation.
But that's the thing is I think it was made for the generation like a year or two below me, like,
which is me.
Yes.
Fair enough. Then the TV series is not an adaptation of the movie or of the graphic novels. It's sort of like a companion piece to it. The original writer of the graphic novel wrote the series, and it's such a smart TV show. And I hate that I keep saying that, but the way that he plays off both the books and the movies, but in a different way without it taking away from either of them, but sort of enhancing both at the same time is crazy. It's crazy. It's so good. And it also fixes things that were uncouth in those films and books that are uncouth
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Without ruining that, it's on Netflix. Go
Yeah.
watch it.
I haven't had Netflix in like 2 years.
Fair.
Can't be bothered. Last time I thought about re-upping my subscription, I saw how much they charge you now. And now
so
they're like, oh, and if you don't want commercials, you have to pay extra. Like, commercials?
Ridiculous.
What the fuck? So I'm like, nah, I'm done with Netflix.
Did you end up watching the Amazing Race finale?
No, I Amazing Race is honestly, it's just one of those shows that just like over the last few years, I haven't been that interested in it. Like a lot of those big ones I'm losing interest in because I find Amazing Race is poor casting. They don't cast anybody interesting, and then the one or two teams that they do cast that are like really interesting are there just because they're going to flounder and they're going to be the first one or two out. So then I'm left with all the boring male. Well, we're brothers, and we
That's
both
who
have the
won.
same job, and like, oh, we're a married couple who wants to spice up our life. It's like I don't give a shit.
If it helps,
It's just
2 out of the 3 people in the last episode were people I wanted to see at the end, from the get go, which was interesting.
I might I've avoided spoilers on it because I might go back and watch it again. I actually just found out there was a whole new season of Big Brother Australia that I did not know, and I love the Australian version of Big Brother way better than the US version now because things happen in the Australian version, and I just found out there's an entire season that aired over the last 2 months that I didn't know about, and I'm like, I got 4 days off coming up. Sweet.
I never got into Big Brother. I don't know why.
I'm losing my luster for the US version because I just tend to find that once it hits up at the halfway point, you've got a pretty good idea of how it's going to play out the rest of the way, and I'm usually correct, and it takes any excitement out of it for me. Plus the fact that I don't like the 3 episode a week format for that show. I think it just drags things out. It just makes the episodes so long and boring. That's why I like the Australian one. They do an entire week's worth of thing in one episode. They just make that episode a little bit longer to fit it all, and that's it. And I'm happy with that.
Any other shows? I have 2 more shows.
I'm trying to think of something that really captivated me this year. This is kind of a dry year for television for me.
There was one we had talked about earlier this year. After Ted Lasso ended.
Yeah, I loved House of Villains.
What's House of Villains?
House of Villains is a reality show that is
I do know.
Where I talked about this after the Survivor one, where it's like the 10 notorious reality television villains brought in to compete against each other. Finale's on this week. But it's been such a wonderful return to form for the old VH1 reality show style, which was always they never took themselves seriously. It was always very goofy. It was always very tongue in cheek and all about making fun of the process of the show as much as it was about trying to get fun stuff out of the cast. Joel McHale as the host is just and he can't half the time he can't contain himself by the absurdity that's going on around him. That's been just a wonderful little surprise show for me this year. I think what did we talk about around Ted Lasso? What was that one?
Shrinking with Harrison Ford and Jason.
Oh, I never watched that.
You didn't watch it? It's like Ted Lasso, but for therapy. It's phenomenal. It's such a good show. It's heartwarming. It gave those feelings you get.
That's
in
Jason
Ted Lasso.
Segel, right?
Jason Segel, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It gives you those feelings that I got in Ted Lasso. So it was like when I was in that Ted Lasso sadness of it ending, Shrinking brought me back up and sort of down at the same time.
Yeah,
because it was good. Also, The Last of Us was phenomenal this year.
Yeah, that's again. I haven't finished that. TV just hasn't. I haven't watched any other than a handful of shows. I have not watched much TV in the past year or two. It's sitting on a playlist waiting for me to finish watching it. I watched the first 2 episodes. I liked it. I just other stuff going on at the time. Didn't get to it.
That's fair.
I started trying to watch The Curse a couple nights ago. It's the new Nathan Fielder.
That show is good.
Nathan Fielder, Benny Safdie, Emma Stone one.
Mm-hmm.
I got about 20 minutes into the first episode, and I was just like,
too much?
Where is this going?
Yeah.
It's so dry and so I don't get how this is a show yet, and I've heard it gets like really like uncomfortable. Like it's really funny at one moment and then makes you feel like really cringy the next. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to feel that watching a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm like,
That
but at
is
the same time, I'm
accurate.
like, it's the Safdie brothers and it's Nathan Fielder, and I feel like I should give it a chance for that reason.
I feel like you'd like it. Maybe. I don't know.
I find the Safdie brothers in general make things that make me feel very uncomfortable, but I end up liking. Like Uncut Gems was a movie that I loved that movie despite how much I sat there the whole time going, "Oh, stop it!" Like, you know, you got a main character like Adam Sandler is phenomenal in that movie, but it's like every step of the way he's doing the exact thing you were like, "Don't do this," and he's doing it anyway, and you're like, it just makes you so uncomfortable to watch.
I never watched the whole thing. I
Oh,
couldn't get through it. It was very awkward, or not awkward.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable.
yeah.
I can't even think of anything else TV show wise. I think that's a good amount, barring anyone jumping in on. Oh nope, no one's jumping in yet. Let's just jump in.
We're not as good as Conan Exiles. We're not as good as a game that came out 12 years ago.
But they did some good updates recently, so I understand, which is fair.
Eh.
Also, I didn't mention anything on the Discord because I've been dying since
Yeah.
the Thursday. Video games. Let's just get it out of the bag. Spider-Man 2 is very good. It's very,
Yes.
very good. It's a fun game. The story's phenomenal. The graphics are amazing. I think the controls are fantastic. Soundtrack also good. Acting amazing. They need DLC. I would love that game to continue a life forward. But right now,
I'm sure it will.
Right now, I have it platinum, and I would like to jump back into the game one day. Yeah.
This is one of those things where like Spider-Man 2 would have been game of the year for me, except for the fact that it just reminded me too much of the first one. It was just like it didn't stand out enough from the first game for me to as its own entity, which is the same reason why I didn't consider Tears of the Kingdom, because to me Tears of the Kingdom just plays like Breath of the Wild 2.
It's so confusing.
So and I have trouble differentiating between the two and why one is better than the other, or why one would be game of the year and the other one wasn't. Like,
I really like Tears of the Kingdom, but I did not realize you had to go underground for the longest time. The longest time. They just didn't. They weren't like, because they were like, you don't have to go down there. I was like, but you do sort of, right?
Yeah, I made the announcement this week because I finished up Last Faith on stream yesterday, and I made the announcement that the next game I'm going to play is going to be Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm kind of regretting that because I'm kind of thinking that I feel like that might be more of a game that I want to play on my own.
There's a lot of wandering in that game.
Yeah, or like if I do stream it, I think I'm still going to play it offline, and I'm going to do like a lot of like the exploration and shit offline. And then when I do what I do online will be like I'll do like the main bosses and like the main dungeons and shit in that online.
Taffy's saying you have to play Hogwarts.
I am going to play Hogwarts. I played a bit of it before. I played probably about 10 hours of it on PC before, and I loved it. But I want to so much so that I want to platinum it. So I want to get it for PlayStation, and it just went on sale 50% off, but I got to wait till I get paid next week. Yeah.
On PSN?
Yes. Okay. The PS5 version is 50% off right now.
I will pick it up tonight.
I plan on, I got to wait till I get paid next week, and then I'm going to get it. But I may just, I think I'm just going to do that because I can't play those games on stream. I can't play those long where you're just wandering around for hours games. I need to do those on my own time. Yeah. So I think we're going to do that, and I'll just add like I'll add a small Metroidvania into the mix. There's 9 Years of Shadows, which came out this year that I've been wanting to get to for a while. I just started After Image Offline, which is a new Metroidvania game that came out this year.
I started the Avatar game, which is surprisingly good.
I can't get into Ubisoft anymore.
Yeah, so that's the issue. If you don't like Ubisoft games, it's Far Cry mixed with Mirror's Edge. I liked Mirror's Edge a lot. So I was like, fuck, okay, I'm going to try it.
I loved Ubisoft because they appealed to the trophy hunter in me.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they started making their games way too long to do that. Like, I started Valhalla and I was just like,
That game is too long.
I
It's too long.
cannot commit to this. I started Far Cry 6 and I was just like, I'm so burnt out after playing all the other new Assassin's Creed games and playing all the other Far Cry series. I'm so burnt out that they're not doing anything new, that they're just making the same formula, but stretching it a little longer, a little longer, a little longer.
Far Cry 6
And-
was all right if you just did the main missions.
Yeah.
But if you did all the side stuff, it's just like, no, it's too much.
I bought Mirage, which came out this year, and I was
Mirage is
excited because I heard it was a lot shorter, so I was like, okay, maybe I'll sit down and play. As soon as I started playing it, it just immediately took me back into playing Odyssey and Origins and Valhalla, and I immediately was like, I just can't do it anymore.
Hi, Porter.
Like, hello, Port.
The Mirage, when I the 2-hour intro is what kills that game for me. You're just like,
Yeah, and I think I'm still like, I just got to the first main city.
did you get the title sequence yet?
I think so. Yeah, you get that when you're riding the camel into the when you're riding on the camels into the city.
Yeah, that first city's pretty good. It's fun. Yeah, it's an Assassin's. It feels like Origins. That's what that game feels like. Mirage feels like Origins, which is not a bad thing.
I think
because Origins was smaller.
I think it's kind of funny that like a 2023 being like, we had talked about doing like a separate podcast just on the games of 2023 because of how good they are, and we're starting out by talking about all the ones that I don't like, all the shit.
Yeah. Did I pick my game yet for? No,
well,
I think we just said
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
2.
because I assumed it was.
We wanted to get it out of the way.
It's a good game. Play it if you have a PlayStation 5. It's one of those technical games you're just like, okay, this the PlayStation looks really good. They have ray tracing on by default in every mode, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That just hurts my.
Did you at any point try playing with the realistic web swinging on that?
I did. It was really funny.
I couldn't stop hitting cars.
I kept on hitting buildings.
I kept hitting everything in sight.
Yeah. What was funny is that one of my voice teachers is in that game, and she does a lot of the NPC characters.
Mhm.
So randomly, I'll be like running around, and I'll be like, "What the fuck?" And then just listen to her talk for a bit, and it's like, man, it's a fun game. That game was fun. That was a photo one where I was like photo mode all the time.
Now she hears this, and then in Spider-Man 3, you're going to be walking around. You're going to hear an NPC go, "Hi, Eric."
Oh my god, could you imagine? She was also in. Remember the game that no one played, Arkham Knights? Was that the new one?
Yeah, I haven't played it. That's for sure.
Or Gotham Knights? Gotham Knights, right? Gotham.
Yeah,
Yeah, Gotham Knights.
Who cares?
She plays Montoya in that, and that game was fun-ish. Midnight Suns, also a really fun game that no one's gonna end up playing. Or did
I did play a little bit of it when we did our Steam share. That was the first. That was like the first game that I grabbed off of your list to try out, and I couldn't play it because it was on my laptop. My laptop wasn't handling it very well. It's very intensive, which is surprising for a card game. But I enjoyed from when I played it. So
what else? Was God of War this year?
No, it was last year.
Okay, the DLC.
Because remember last year was the big, is it going to be Elden Ring or God of War? Is the game of the year.
You're right. Taffy said, "I'm surprised you didn't say Baldur's Gate, Eric." I mean,
I still haven't played any of it.
It's a fun game. Is it my game of the year? Maybe not. I don't think it's the game I played the most.
Yeah.
Why don't you do yours first?
I'll do. I don't know if I want to do honorable mentions now or we'll do honorable mentions afterwards.
We'll do it after because there's like so many.
Yeah. Let's just get Taffy. Let's just shut Taffy up here and we'll just go right ahead. So Liza P. Hands down, Liza P is my game of the year.
It is a great game.
Not only because
I'm
of not only because of what most people are their first playthrough, but it's so shocking that for as much as everybody struggles on their first playthrough, you play it a second time and you are like 1,000 times better for some whatever reason. Like, I don't know what it was, but like I struggled like hell my first playthrough. I go on and I play a second time and I breeze through the game in a couple of hours. Like, I wasn't not using like summons, not like anything over the top. It was just like it was just that got that good at the game by the end of it. Which is a sign of a good game. It's a sign that the game really teaches you as you go along. But I gotta hand it to like it's just this is the first company that took the Souls formula, that took what worked for FromSoft, didn't just try and copy it like everybody else does, which is why they fail. They took the formula, they took the things people like, and then they said, how do we make our own little tweaks on that? And they tried it, and then they gave it out to the fans, and they said, try this, tell us what you think. And they took what the fans said to heart. They listened to their fans after the demo, and they reworked all of the things that were a problem when they released the game. And I love a company that does that. A company that legitimately listens to the people who are paying them for this, like, and does what they want. But it's like I said, is the main reason it's my game of the year is because there's so many other companies that have tried to make Souls-like games and have failed miserably. This is the very first one that I feel is on that upper echelon that it could be a From Software game or even better than a From Software game. This is from a company that literally their major game before this was an export of a Japanese RPG from like 2010. Other than that, like they made the roguelike game Skull, which is a incredible fun. Yeah, I really like that. There was another one that they made. I'd have to look it up real quick here. Where are you, Neo? Is I'm not going to waste time on it. There was another like Metroidvania roguelike game that they made that I thought was really well done as well. So they come from that background and everything, which is great. But like they just made something that could just belong in a From Software catalog. Like this could have been a From Software game. It is that good, and they are the only company in my eyes that has nailed that. As Taffy is saying, the story is absolutely compelling. There's twists and turns through it that you don't necessarily see coming, or maybe you do, but they still play on that. There's an incredible decision-based way to play the game that influences how the game plays out towards the end. The weapon system in the game is something that is absolutely unique. Like they took almost everybody's complaints of every weapon from every other one of these games, where you're like, I really like this weapon, but I don't like that it doesn't scale to how I play, or I really like this weapon, but I don't like how slow it is. And they went, okay, well, here's what you can do. Here's all the weapons that you like. We're going to separate them from the head and the handle. The handle dictates how they operate. The head dictates the weapon you like. You can take the weapon you like and you can put any handle on it so that you can operate it any way that you like. You can completely customize your weapon. Doesn't scale with the way that you're building your character? Here, take these items called cranks and put it on your weapon so it changes the scaling of that weapon so it does apply to your character. Mm-hmm. So they just allow you to basically, there's no restrictions on what you can build for that. And I love that because there's so many times I play these games where I'm like, my weapon looks so nice, but it doesn't work with my play style. This game's just like, hey, let's make it work. Like, lots of new introductory things into this that other games haven't done. Like, it's just, oh my god, I can't say enough good things about it. Like, I love that it's getting the recognition that it is. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect it to be like up for Game of the Year. I love that it did get nominated for Best RPG. I didn't think it was going to win, obviously, given the competition that it was against. But I do love that they got enough recognition that within a week after launching, like a brand new company with a brand new IP, within a week after launch, they already got the go ahead to make a sequel and a DLC. And I don't know if you played through or if you've been spoiled on what the DLC or the sequel is going to be.
No, go for it though.
They have announced that the next story that they're going to be focusing on is Wizard of Oz.
Fuck.
They introduced the little tag at the end of the game. Sorry, spoilers for everyone, but the tag at the end of the game is that now that the Pinocchio story is finished, there's a character who's basically like this guy who like recruits people for like he's almost like a CIA recruiter.
Is he Nick Fury?
No, but it's kind of like that. But anyway, he's on the phone and he's talking about how, like, you know, like we have the asset with the puppet and we're telling, like, wrapping up the story. And he says, don't worry, I'm on my way to acquire the second asset now, Dorothy. And it shows a shot of, like, a little girl in a red dress standing there and clicking her heels together. And you're like, holy shit, they're doing Wizard of Oz is the next story.
Do you remember America McGee's Alice? Those games back in the day?
No, we talked about that a while ago. I remember you bringing that up, and I never tried them.
They were good back, or at least I enjoyed them. They're like a gothic version of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
and I loved it. Like the weapon that she would use is the Vorpal blade, that from the Jabberwocky. Oh my god! So the fact that they're doing that, oh, that's so cool.
No, we don't know if I don't know if that's going to be like a full game or if it's going to be the DLC. They haven't confirmed. They just announced that that's the next thing they're working on, and then they announced that they are hiring. Back in September, at the end of September, they were like, "We're officially hiring a production team and designers to come in and start working on a DLC for the game."
Oh, if they do Wizard of Oz, I hope it's a full game. It's gonna be years away though. That's a sad thing.
Yeah, it'll be like if it's a DLC, you're looking at 2 years. If it's a full game, yeah, at least probably like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Next system, I guess. That's weird. That's fucking weird. Yeah. I from what I played it on Xbox Game Pass. I love that it was on there. It was fun. It's a fun game. I love the Bloodborne Pinocchio aesthetic. I think it's a gorgeous game.
Yeah. So the one thing that I will say that like irritates me the most though is that everybody compares it to Bloodborne just because of the aesthetic. If you want, and that's the thing is people then who love Bloodborne go in and play the game and they get disappointed because it doesn't play. I will say this: it does not play like Bloodborne.
No, not at all.
If you like Sekiro, then you'll like this game. This game plays like Sekiro.
Yeah, that's crazy. I thought it was. I love the sound design in this game. Like the just everything sounds so cool. It was a fun game. From what I played, I'm terrible at this game, but I will eventually.
How far have you made it?
Not much further. Because Spider-Man came out around that, like after, like when I started this game, and I was like, oh well, Spider-Man it is. And then I started playing Starfield, which was not great.
By the time Spider-Man 2 had come out, I had already beaten Liza P 4 times and platinumed it.
yeah, true. And then I was also trying to play Baldur's Gate, which I still haven't beaten, but that's gonna happen one day.
The cat, I've heard the cat and Liza P is a fun little touch. Where like every time you lie in the game, you gain humanity, and the more you lie, the more human you become. And one of the ways that you can tell is there's a cat in the main hub area, and as you're a puppet, the cat hates you and tries to attack you when you try to pet it. So the more human you become, you can see the more human you're becoming because the cat starts to like you more and more as you go approach it.
What would have been funny is that if you're a puppet, it would attack you, and if you're a human, it would be indifferent towards you. Before we
just wants food.
Yeah, exactly. Before we do my game of the year, actually, I don't really know what my game of the year is, which is terrible. I want to talk about the Game Awards Game of the Year nominees because they were interesting.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3, understandable.
Understandable.
On the
Spider-Man 2,
understandable. Alan
Tears
Wake
of the
2.
Kingdom.
Oh, sorry, Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, understandable.
Understandable. Alan Wake 2 was
suspicious
on my list until I started watching people play it.
Ooh.
And started getting the feedback from it, and it was I know it was universally kind of a what the hell is this doing on the list when it first made it on, but then as people started playing it, they were like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like,
if you play
100%, it deserves to be there.
You know what? Should this be my game of the year? Because I love this game. This game is so good. Like, it's so good. And if you played Alan Wake 1, it's really good. And then
I have not, but it is free on PlayStation, so I think it is going to go onto my playlist because I never even knew what the Alan Wake games were.
Yeah. So it's about this gothic author who's sort of writing a story that he's also in without spoiling it. I don't want to spoil that game. It's really good.
I just meant like more of, I didn't know it played like Resident Evil.
Yes.
I thought it was one of those games that played more like it was like almost like a text-based or story-based where like you're going around and it's like, which door do you walk through, and like which person do you choose to side with here? I thought it was more like that,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm not into that.
Did you play Control?
Yes,
Yeah. So
and I know they take place in the same universe. So
and the Bureau of Control shows up in Alan Wake too. There are definitely spots, and there are. I'm not gonna spoil it, but Alan Wake 2, damn good game. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which was actually really good. It was a fun game.
I plan on getting it. I would like to get it.
It's the first new 2D scroller Mario in a long time. That wasn't just a remake. It's cute as shit. It's fun to play with people. They took away the timer for levels, which I think is really nice. So you don't have to just like bum rush the end if you're like trying to find secrets. Fun. And then there's the dark horse on this awards, the last one, Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, that was. I know that was a real big like. I don't think it should be on there. I understand that it's a ground up remaster, remake, whatever. And I understand that you added a few things in here and you made some tweaks on things. It's still It's still for all intents and purposes the same game that came out 15 years ago.
That's been longer than that.
Has it? I remember playing it on GameCube for the first time.
Yeah, it was on GameCube too.
But however long, like it's not a new IP, it's not a new
Like
so
I
feel
understand, I understand when Final Fantasy VII Remake wanted to be on the Game of the Year because they totally changed the story.
Because that is a completely different game. Yeah,
mechanics, everything.
It not only like expanded the story, tenfold, but completely changed genres for games. It's no longer a JRPG. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So I wonder if maybe the Game Awards should start incorporating some kind of like a new like
best remake,
like remake of the year or something like that. But do enough games come out to warrant that?
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of remakes. To be honest, I feel like there's always a remake a year at least. What should have been on there is Dave the Diver, which is probably my favorite game of the year. I feel like.
It is up there for me. It's in my top 5 of the year for sure.
That and Dredge are probably the games I've played the most this year. Did you end up playing Dredge?
No, but I want to now that I saw that Dave the Diver and Dredge are doing the crossover event.
Yeah. And Dave, the free DLC is out for Dave right now. So Dave the Diver is this weird indie game where you play this diver who catches fish and sends it to a sushi bar where you upgrade
where you
meals,
then work
where you
at
work
the sushi
and you
bar.
serve the food, but then you also have a fish farm which you have to take care of and maintain, and you have a vegetable farm rice field that you maintain and keep, and then there are rare fish that you have to find like Pokemon, and then
there's an underwater village of people that you have to do jobs for.
And then there's seahorse racing and all this random
Cult of the Lamb
stuff.
was last year, I believe.
Was it last year? That was also.
I think so.
But Dave the Diver is such a. I don't know. It's such a unique experience. It's such a quirky game. The humor
such a
is
weird
so funny.
Like I've always said, like to me, I love it because it's a combination of 3 games that I love. Stardew Valley, Subnautica, and I forgot. Fuck, I can't remember what the third one was for my thing. But 3 games. It's like a combination of 3 games that I absolutely love. That shouldn't work by blending them together, but they do. It does. It just works. Like for whatever reason. Oh, Overcooked. I was like,
yes.
it's Overcooked, it's Stardew Valley, and it's Subnautica all mixed into one game, and it shouldn't work, but it does.
Not to mention that each of the characters is so unique and funny. The gunsmith is like this weeb that is just so fucking. It's such a charming game. It's a charming game.
I need to go back to it. I need to play more of it. I got as far as I found the underwater village.
Okay.
And I've started doing some of the like the tasks for them. But I hit a point where I had to like collect like 3 of something for somebody, and I only found 2 of them, and I never found the third.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going everywhere trying to find it, and I couldn't. And then I was like, maybe it's something that I have to come back later for. And I just got frustrated, and I stopped playing it, and I haven't gone back to it since. But
That's fair. I play it on my Steam Deck, so it's one of those like perfect games I just play in bed before I go to sleep.
yeah,
They have 2 leftover fish farms, although I don't know if one is taken up by the dredge fish, because that would be cool. That means they still have one more DLC free.
Yeah.
Dredge was very close up there. It's a boating game, which is a bad way of explaining it. You go and you fish, you dredge up the ocean, you discover this mystery of this island, and it's made by Team 17, if that means anything to people. So
I recognize the name. Yeah.
yeah, they're the ones who made the Worms games. Yeah. Any other Alan Wake 2 was another thing that definitely played. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, oh God, there's just, I'd have to literally put a list of the games that came out this year, because there's so many good ones that came out that I've literally forgotten a lot of them.
Jedi Survivor was this year.
Jedi Survivor. I was literally just about to say Jedi Survivor. Phenomenal game, ruined by being made by a company that I can't stand. Which I never finished the game because I refuse to finish it now, because I refuse to play anything from EA. I was so excited when I saw that the new Wild Hearts game was out free on Game Pass, and I realized, oh, you have to play through the EA app. Nope, sorry. I will not play anything that I'm forced to play it through that stupid app.
Oh,
Hogwarts, 100%. Or I was about to mention as well. Like Hogwarts is. Oh, you haven't played it?
I have here's my issue. J.K. Rowling went after one of my friends on Twitter. Like,
ooh,
because she's trans. So,
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling sent all of her bad fans against my one friend,
Yeah.
and she ended up getting like death threats and stuff for months and months. So basically, my friend is a YouTuber who put out an essay saying, you know what, this game is coming out. Support the developers. I can't play it because I'm. I love Harry Potter, but the author actively is against my community. Like, she puts funds into, going against it.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I don't begrudge you for playing this game if you want to play it, because there is still a piece of my heart that is with this franchise. And she said that outright. And then, J.K. Rowling heard only part of it and was like, fuck this person. Go after her.
Yeah. You might want to read Taffy's comment that she just put on, because it is actually like a nice little comment about the game.
Yeah. I did know about that.
Yeah.
I did know about that. Yeah, I love that. I thought that was funny. And I like, it's amazing that the game company had to distance themselves away from J.K. Rowling as well. Like, the actors and everyone, they were just like, no, you know what? We didn't really deal with her. She just, she has to have her name on it because it's the franchise. And I'm like, that sucks, but yeah, it makes sense.
Which is why I realized playing it, when I started realizing as I was playing it, I was like, I realized that like they're not naming any of like there's no names of any of the characters from the series in this game.
When does
and I
it
realized
take place?
that
Like
was
100 years before or something like that?
something like that. But then I realized that that's why they changed the timeline of the game, because they wanted to distance themselves from the stories that she created and create their own story in the universe. But you honestly, you would love the game. Like, issues aside, like, you would love the game. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It unfortunately just came out right at the beginning of the year and just got upstaged by so many other games.
Apparently, the new Like a Dragon is amazing too. I haven't had a chance to play that. Have you played that series?
Same. I'm still working on the original Like a Dragon. I love that game so much. And but I can't sit down and play it like endlessly. I have to. It's one of those games I put on and I sit down and I play it for like a couple hours a month and just lose myself in it, and then go, okay, let's set you aside. It's almost like, and part of it is like, I love the game so much I don't want it to end. So I'm afraid to keep playing it because I don't want that story to end. I love the story of Ishin and that. It's so fucking good.
How what? I know Blasphemous 2 came out this year, and you're a really big
literally
fan
about to mention that Blasphemous 2 is probably number 2 on my game of the year list. Blasphemous 2 was look who's here. Thank you for a sub, Mr. Revenant.
Half time.
Blasphemous 2 came at the perfect time because it came at a time when I was getting really burnt out with streaming, really burnt out with content creation, really burnt out with gaming. And all of those things were just not working together for me anymore, and I needed a break. So I basically just announced that I was taking at least a month off of streaming, just to kind of like sit down and find some games and play games for myself and rediscover my love of them again before coming back. And right as I decided to do that is when Blasphemous 2 came out. And I did not leave my computer until that game was done. It was so good, like, because I love the first game, but it has its flaws, and this game basically took every problem that the first game had and eliminated it. They switched genres up, so it's now a Metroidvania rather than just an RPG, like an action-adventure game. They created a wonderful little storyline that wraps everything together. The boss fights are exceptional. It's a phenomenal game. Like, I literally, like I said, I could not stop playing it until I 100% the game. Like I was playing it. It's the first time in I don't know how long I sat there and played the game for like 10 hours a day for like 3 days straight until I was done.
That's how Spider-Man 2 was for me. Like I just like it took over my life.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
And I think The Last Faith, the one that I just finished, is another one that I think is up there in the list too for being as good as like Blasphemous 2, and that it's another game where I played the demo and I hated it. And I got on the list for the demo. I got a private code for it. I played it. They asked me to submit my thoughts, and I wrote a very, very long, sternly written letter telling them exactly what I thought of the game. And I hated it. I did not like it. And I don't know if it was just a general consensus amongst people or if they just read mine and took that to heart. But when I sat down and played the actual game when it released, they had fixed every problem that I had with it. Almost everything verbatim that I said, they had changed and they had corrected and they had fixed. And it came out to be like, it's almost like I designed the game and I designed the perfect game for myself. And it was so fucking good as well.
Yeah,
Can you interject with the falling game of the year?
Failing?
Oh, failing game of the year. Oh, yeah, the failing game of the year.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a check.
Failing game of the year. We know which one that is.
2 more games I want to mention that probably people won't mention. Chance of Sinar, which came out this year. It's
one of my mods, Game Wanderer, is playing that right now.
Oh, it's a phenomenal game.
Yeah, he's been streaming that for the past few nights. He's loving it, and I've been enjoying watching him play.
For those
so much so that I'm like, I think I want to play it, so I need to stop watching.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's one of those games where you don't want to figure it out, or you don't want to get spoiled. It's a puzzle game where you're trying to figure out what's happening around you through language, and like you're interacting with people with puzzles all around you, and you're trying to figure out like, oh, this is something here, and this symbol sort of means this. Maybe these two go together, and as you build the language, the world opens up. It's such a smart, unique game. I don't think I've ever played anything like it before.
Did you ever play Tunic?
I love Tunic. I beat the shit out of that game. And I found so many different things that people had never, or like people that I had talked to had not done, and then they're talking about things that I'd not seen before. Like that game.
The world needs more games like that. Like I love Tunic. I want to play the Chance of Sinar because it feels like it's that type of game. Mm-hmm. It makes me want to go play the Outer Wilds. Is one
Outer
of the
Wilds
ones that's
so
been on my.
Too. I thought you had played that
been
game.
on my. No, that's just one of those games that because I always mix it up with Outer Worlds. And I didn't realize that they were 2 separate games for the longest time. And then finally I saw someone playing Outer Wilds.
I feel like
I saw someone playing Outer Wilds and realized that it was like a puzzle discovery game. And I was like, oh, maybe
it's a puzzle time game
this.
too, which is, one of those fun things. Another one, Cocoon, which I think won an award at the Games Awards this year for
Yes,
indie.
it did. Yeah.
That's an Annapurna game as well.
Not indie. Was it indie or was it for interactiveness?
Oh, I don't know.
No, because Forza always wins for interaction or for accessibility. Sorry,
Oh yeah,
Forza always wins the accessibility award.
I'm not sure, but like another, like we keep on saying every year, Annapurna Game Interactive comes out with the best games every
No
year.
wrong.
The best games.
Can do no
Cocoon,
wrong.
another puzzle
It's-
game, which is phenomenal. You control a beetle, and you jump between worlds, figuring out stuff.
Yep.
And then probably one of another game that's sort of like Dave the Diver. Again by Annapurna Interactive, and created by a Canadian studio, Thirsty Suitors. Have you heard of this game?
Yes,
It's,
the name sounds familiar.
it's so fun. It's like a skate.
I do have Cocoon downloaded. Okay.
It's on Game Pass as well.
Yeah, so I'm just checking my Game Pass. I do have Cocoon downloaded. So.
It's skateboarding. It's a cooking game. It's a turn-based battle game as well. And it's about this Indian, or I don't want to say, is it Indian? Ooh. Anyway, it's South Asian. It's a South Asian narrative where they're trying to. It's sort of a dating game, but it's a fighting dating game, and it's with cooking. Oh, it's so fun! It's such a random ass game.
I remember there was one Annapurna game that I don't know if this came out or not, but I remember hearing about it a while back. But it was a game where it was like the structure of the game is it's a girl trying to get over a recent breakup, and it's like an RPG, an action RPG game by Annapurna, where she's battling all of the ghosts from her past and her love life.
Ooh, I don't know.
I'd have to look this up again. I remember hearing about this, but it was like it's all about her battling all of her bad memories of trying to get over a recent breakup or something like that. Like she has to like fight her ex's like best friend who's like been trashing her name, and she has to fight the girl who like cheated her boyfriend cheated on with her. Like I remember hearing about this a while ago, so I don't know if it's come out. I don't remember the name of it. I just remember there was Annapurna saying it was their first foray into doing like Metroid, or not Metroidvania, but like an action RPG kind of style.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to check that out. That's crazy. What's this failing game?
Oh, the worst game of the year, Lords of the Fallen.
Oh yeah, you keep on talking about this, but I've never.
Lords of the Fallen is the biggest letdown piece of shit game I've ever played. I don't understand how anyone likes it. I don't get the people who are like, it's better than Lies of P. I don't understand it might be in my top game of the year. Like I got a buddy who's logged, like he platinumed it. He's logged like 300 hours into it. I don't get it. It is such a broken, horrible, disgusting mess of a game.
Okay, this is not the game that I thought it was, because there was an old game that had this exact same name too.
Oh yeah, there's Lords of the Fallen. There was a game back from 2014. It was known as Clunky Souls because it basically was like a Dark Souls game, but every character moved like a turtle and swung, and like that game. I actually don't mind it. It's a little boring. It's a little slow, but it's not terrible. This new one is just such a. It's like the prettiest turd that you can imagine. It's like someone took a turd and just polished it for hours and turned it into like this shiny gem and handed it to you, and you're like, it looks so pretty on the outside, but inside it's just shit.
Ooh.
Like it's it's one of the first things. Like when I started streaming it, I announced that I wanted to do a challenge run. I've never done this before. I've never done a challenge run on a first game. And I said, I'm going to give myself X amount of lives, like 150 lives. And I have 150 lives to beat this game. And if I don't beat the game within that amount, I delete my save file live on stream and start the game over. And I had people like, I made like goals where like, I'm like, if you donate, you can spin a wheel to try and give me more lives or take lives away, or you can punish me while I'm playing. And all this stuff, and I had people coming in and doing a bunch of donations. Like I was getting like hit with like 5 gifted, 10 gifted, 20 gifted, all towards this. And I felt like when that happened, I was like, oh, I feel obligated to play this game now because so many people are coming in and supporting it. It got to the point where I literally had to put a poll up in my Discord and just be like, guys, all of you who gave me money, please give me permission to stop playing this game.
Hey!
Hey!
This is it.
So anyway, that's it for our year of roundup of talking about the best.
I'll be right back, but feel free to start. I gotta pee.
Dave, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm fantastic. We're just we finished talking about our favorites of the year, so now I'm talking about my worst game of the year, Lords of the Fallen. Fuck that piece of shit game.
You know, I remember when that game came out for like early PS4.
Yes.
Something like that. And and when they were like Lords of the Fallen's coming out, I'm like, don't you mean like Lords of the Fallen 2 or Lords of the Fallen remastered or Lords of the Fallen like something? My volume is very low. Well, unfortunately, the person who could fix that.
Yeah, the person who fixed that is currently throwing up. So
I can get closer to the mic. I don't know if that'll actually help though.
Well, then I'll turn you down on my end, or not. Just scream.
No, I don't want to. Now in the middle. Well, actually, yeah, it is really low. It was at 60.
You just
is
shot
that
way
really
up.
loud? Is that too loud now, or?
I'll turn you down on my end, and we'll see. You did shoot up quite a bit there. Yeah, there you go.
Is that good though? Is that I don't know.
Yeah, apparently you're good.
Okay, it's like 33% louder.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that Lords of the Fallen was like, and like I remember I played. I think they gave it away in PS Plus.
Yes.
And I tried the first boss and I was like, I don't know how to play this. There's no tutorial. There's no instructions. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it's really hard. So who the fuck is gonna play this game?
See, that's the kind of game that I like. I just
Sure.
I can't stand a game that just like takes like a mechanic that does nothing but it is intended to be difficult. It's intended to be difficult for difficult sake. And then making this mechanic something that you have the option of going in and out of in the game if you want. You know, like it's like if you want to go into this alternate universe, you know, you're going to get like a lot of enemies coming at you and it's going to be horrible. But, you know, there's a benefit to it. You're going to level up quicker if you choose to do that. But then the game basically within the first 30 seconds goes, well, we're not going to give you the opportunity to have the choice. We're going to force you to go into that constantly and get 100 enemies at a time attacking you. We don't care. And then you're going to go fight a boss, and it's going to be the most underwhelming boss fight you've ever fought because 5 minutes later, it's going to be a common enemy that you're going to fight every 5 minutes in the game. And then the next boss is same thing, over and over again. It was just the most underwhelming, broken game. And like I've died more to accidentally rolling off of cliffs because for some reason in that game, when you roll, you have like a rocket up your ass that fires you about 30 yards forward. It's just is.
Are we still talking about Lords of the Fallen?
Yeah, and the thing is here's the funny thing: the game has been out for only a couple months. They have patched it over 35 times.
Well, at least they're
like
trying.
Yeah, but they're not succeeding because they're not fixing the damn things that people are actually complaining about.
Fair.
I'm done with that. Dave, what's your favorite?
Let's go backwards for Dave. Dave, what's your favorite game of the year?
Final Fantasy 16.
Oh yeah, shit, we
loved it. I think definitely well deserving of the best soundtrack which it got at the Game Awards. I actually don't understand. I mean, Ben Starr was great. But like why now I'm going to forget the actor's name, but Sid, why was his Ralph Innocent? I'm like, that's the best part. Like Sid is so good.
The Game Awards unfortunately was let's give Baldur's Gate as many awards as we can night.
I have, as a longtime Baldur's Gate fan, I have opinions on that too, because that game, as far as I'm concerned, is still in early access. If you're still putting out if you're still putting out systems and content, your game is not done, right? Content is what comes after your beta, but systems that you're inputting, that's when you're in alpha. That's how video games work. So
but hey, we're also putting remakes up as game of the year too. So
Which did not make sense. Resident Evil
like
4.
like Resident Evil 4, which
yeah,
would probably win, right? If it was just brand new, like everybody, it's everyone's favorite basically.
Except it was my favorite when I was 22. Right?
Yeah.
So-
I remember
was
when it came out, you
22.
you got the little chainsaw controller for your GameCube.
Yep,
Yeah, I
yeah,
had
exactly.
a GameCube then. Yeah.
Yeah, we were all talking about how it was on our GameCube. So,
Yeah.
sorry, what was your game of
Game
the
of the year, Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
Loved it. I mean, I streamed the whole thing. It's all on my YouTube,
I
right?
still have yet to finish it.
It's
I'm in the
yeah.
process right now of going back and finishing all the games I started this year that I was like in love with. So I'm like, I'm starting with Tears of the Kingdom, then we're gonna do Hogwarts, and I'm gonna do Final Fantasy. I'm like, I can finally, now that like 2024 is gonna be a
check.
slower year for games, I can finally start getting caught up on the backlog.
The only reason I got to do Final Fantasy is because I was off. I didn't have classes in the summer. I was just working.
Yeah.
So I was streaming it. Let's see. I have 92 hours in Final Fantasy 16. And that is, I did the entire story. I haven't played the DLC yet. I haven't bought it yet, which I will get it. But I did the whole thing. I maxed out my level. I got every like secret, everything you can do in one playthrough, basically. And then now to get all the trophies, I have to go back and do New Game Plus. But because you can skip the dialogue. I mean, but it's pretty good. Like the game is really well written.
I liked using your
Starting a trend.
Okay, apparently we're on Pacific Standard Time today.
Yeah.
I was really enjoying watching you streaming it because I would just pop in and I'd watch for like 30 seconds just to see where you're at in the game, and then I would go back to mine and play until I got caught up to that, so I know where I was.
That's right. You would come in, immediately get spoiled on something very important.
And you're like, fuck, I gotta jump in.
Like a main character would be in the midst of being murdered. Like someone would be falling off a
I'd-
cliff.
I'd like pop in and I'd be like, okay, I see these 3 people on a boat. Okay, exit the stream, and I'm going to play until I get to those 3 people on the boat.
Yeah. Yeah, I powered through it. I was streaming every day for like 5 to 8 hours.
I like jumping in your. I at least kept your stream on so that you could get the view. But then I would be like, I can't watch it because I'm still playing this
welcome.
game.
That's the problem, is that so many of my friends didn't want to watch because they didn't want to get spoiled, because the
I'd
game
occasionally
is
be like,
so
this
story
game
heavy.
is so this looks cool.
It's
I can't
really
watch it.
good. It's really good.
We're talking about
Hi, Hawk.
Hi, Hawk. We're talking.
I am so sorry.
That's
I
a-
totally blanked on it.
It's
Eric
okay.
and I just gonna sit back now and let you and Dave have this for the next hour.
We were talking about favorite game of the year. We were going on Dave's favorite game of the year, and he was saying Final Fantasy 16, which we didn't even mention when me and Hawk,
I
Brett
know.
Okay,
talking.
so yeah, so he said Final Fantasy 16. I say Lots of P. Eric, did you actually say what your game of the year was?
It was Dave the Diver.
Oh, okay, because I remember you kept going, I don't know if I can say if this is my favorite or not, but
And then I was like, yes, it is.
Mentioned. Like, shouldn't that get like a mention at something like the Game Awards? Like games like Lethal Company, right? Like that's a game that should be like
Dave the Diver
explosive.
got nominated for Best Indie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it didn't win.
No.
Was that Sea of Stars or something?
Sea of Stars one, yeah.
Oh, that was a good game too. Fuck,
They
I
have
forgot
like
about
Yeah,
it.
4
Sea of Stars-
million players. I don't know how.
I've just started playing Sea of Stars about a week ago, and I'm loving everything about
That
it so
is the
far.
JRPG that I
Yes.
miss.
It is bringing me back to being 14 years old and buying my first PlayStation. Like
It feels like Secret of Mana. That's what that game feels like. 100.
it's bringing me back to the first time playing Final Fantasy, like in my JRPG days, and like finding Breath of Fire and Secret of Mana and Chrono Cross and all those. Like it's such nostalgia candy.
All done, Dave, with your Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, I mean it's a great game. You can. Well, I would recommend you go play it. It's probably on sale. You know, if
There's
you
new
can.
chapters
if you
coming
can't.
out next year.
Well, there's one out now that you can
Okay.
get.
How many more?
Which
are
is
there?
not long. There's going to be another. This DLC was only like 3 hours, and the next one's going to be like 10.
Nice.
And it's going to be there's because there's certain titans that they don't know about that weren't like in the main story, and people were like, "That's weird. Why didn't they mention that one?" Which is clearly like they kind of allude to it in the game. So that's why it'll be another power set basically, and you'll do another big boss fight. It'll be like a big
Nice.
dungeon.
Wait,
Yeah.
Wait, weren't they saying that who wasn't in the
Leviathan.
Leviathan, yeah?
The water. There's no water. There's like ice, fire, lightning, dark light. I
Earth.
think that's it. I think
Earth,
Earth.
and fire?
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no water,
Hmm.
and that's
They need that.
Leviathan. I thought it was going to be Typhon, because you fight Typhon very early in the game. You fight Typhon.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to actually be a Titan. So.
Oh, crazy.
I
Hawk.
want to see a giant chocobo as a Titan.
Oh my god.
Well, it's a big cactuar.
Well, I can't say why that won't happen without spoiling the entire thing of the game. So
that means it happens, Hawk. It happens, Hawk.
It definitely doesn't. You know what's funny? You can play that whole game and never get your chocobo because it's an optional side quest. So you can walk around on foot.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
That would be so
Yeah.
boring. I love my chocobo.
Yeah.
My chocobo's
Yeah,
awesome.
and you get to move around faster. Like unlike Dragon Age Inquisition, where moving faster or sprinting was just changing your FOV slider, so you felt faster but didn't actually move faster.
All right, Hawk. What's your favorite game of the year? Which we already
All
talked
right.
about, sort of. Not really.
So my favorite game, I'm going with Jedi Survivor.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Great game.
For me, the kind of the perfect game that came out this year. It's action, exploration, RPG, and like another fantastic Star Wars
And it was
story.
Star Wars.
Oh, it was such the Empire Strikes Back of the Star Wars video games. Like,
That's
holy
what-
shit, that ending.
That's what
Yeah.
Stephen Barton said to me before the game came out. He's like, he's the composer of the game, and I had a chance to talk to him, and he's like, "This is the Empire of our trilogy of these games." I was like, "Why'd you say that to me? I can't play it. I can't play it yet." And he's like, Wait to get to the part. It's like, I hate you so much.
Oh God, just shut up. Just shut up.
He was totally
Play it
teasing me,
when-
but it was fine.
But yeah, I don't think I had a more compact, like fun experience with any other game in that. And there was a lot of good games in that. Like, have you anybody of you tried the Ragnarok DLC that came out? Valhalla?
No, I forgot.
I
about
haven't
that.
even played God of War Ragnarok yet
Oh.
at all.
The Valhalla is great. I'm sorry to sidestep here and that.
We've been
but, like,
sidestepping all night, Hawk.
Yeah.
All night.
it
It was
is
just Eric and I for an hour and a half. We had a lot of time to fill.
like it is a maze-like dungeon that you're going through, and that you get stripped of all your powers basically in that. So you grab powers on the way and that, and blah blah blah. It can get some people might see it as being a bit repetitive in that, but like there are like 5 different
That's
skill
what
skill
Rogue
levels.
is like. That's what roguelikes are. Is
Spoilers
repetition.
for God of War 1 through through 2018.
Yeah.
Kratos died in God of War 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't die.
He got better.
He literally, in the first 2 games, he crawls out of Hades, which is the whole thing. But he didn't do that. And so when they were like, Assassin's Creed. So he's going to finally die and have to crawl back out for once. But you already went to Helheim in God of War 2018.
Yep.
So I thought it was...
Well, that's the weird thing is that like he gets an invitation at the beginning in that to come to Valhalla, basically to meet its challenges. This is what
I'm
it is.
picturing
for-
a card. He opens up and it starts singing.
It's like a labyrinthine, like a purgatory that Kratos goes through. And if you're a fan of God of War, I think it's 3. You're going to be really surprised at the story elements involved with it.
So we're starting off with a Titan fight? Is that what's happening?
That's when he fought... 3 is when he opens with him fighting... what's his name? Poseidon. Yeah. That was the PS3.
That was
Yeah.
a good.
I don't want to spoil.
That was a
because
great game.
Anyways, yeah, Jedi Survivor. It was a great upgrade from the original game. Like I went back and just recently replayed Fallen Order and that, and it's like you can see that clear kind of linear, like progression of the character in that. When when in the Fallen Order he was just trying to regain his connection to the Force after being broken for so many years, and that 5 or for Survivor. You start off where you left off and with your connection to the Force and just expand upon there. Adds like a lot of different combat tech, the broadsword, you get the dual sabers this time. It just expands your options as to how you want to play the game. And there's no lack of challenge in it. There's a lot of, not Jedi or Sith or that, but you get a lot of chances in that to show off your lightsaber combat against others in the game. And yeah, the twist. There's a huge twist in it. It is really the Empire of the series. I don't know where they're gonna go for 3, but like I loved all.
I have a pitch for 3.
Okay,
because I haven't played any of these games yet. I started the first one years ago, but it's a battle royale between Cal Kestis Vader's Secret Apprentice, and Kyle Katarn. And you just pick who wins, because those are the 3 Jedi get right. You've got Jedi Knight, right, and then you've got Force Unleashed, and then those are like the lineage of those games, right? So why not do it? You won't, cowards.
I would love the what's his name, Sam Witwer, to show up in those games. Oh, that would be so good.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just the amount of story they throw at you, little side quests, the characters that pop up from that.
Keep on dying by Rancors.
Yep. The Rancor fights are great in this.
Rancors.
What else?
Can't have a game with a lightsaber without a Rancor, apparently, because Luke fought one time, and so every Jedi doesn't get to be called himself a Jedi until they defeat a Rancor.
That's why Bad Batch came out, so that you can all feel bad for killing Rancors.
They're just innocent predators from
I know. Look
from Endor, apparently.
Baby Yoda bonded with one.
Yeah.
You kill them. Just don't name them. That's someone that gets hard.
That's fair. All right, let's go on to...
Can I just really quickly point out that I love the fact that like not one of us for Game of the Year picked Baldur's Gate, Alan Wake, or Spider-Man 2. Take that, industry standards.
Well, we talked about Spider-Man 2 on a general.
I haven't played Alan Wake or Spider-Man 2.
Alan Wake 2 is so good, Dave. It's so good.
I know. I'm well aware. Yeah, I know. My friends have all played it. I'm obsessed with the music.
Yes.
Can that just be the song of the year, right? Herald of Darkness?
Yeah.
It's a metal song, but it's just straight up like a musical, right? Like it's just like.
Is there a reason why I wouldn't love this song? There's
not.
TV shows. Brent, what did you pick as your TV show?
Jury Duty.
I picked The Fall of the House of Usher. Hawk, what is your favorite show of the year?
We also talked a lot about Wrexham too.
Yeah, we talked about Welcome to Wrexham a lot.
I'm gonna go with one that's actually still in progress, but it's so far by far is my favorite show of the year, and that it's called "A Murder at the End of the World."
Ooh, the one on Disney.
Yeah, it's the newest project from Britt Marling and the writing partner Zach Badamangley. The ones they created the OA on Netflix. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it.
I've heard of it.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It was one of my favorite original series on Netflix, and that had Jason Isaacs in this amazing role in that as what they call him, Dr. Hap. he was described as an angel hunter in it. Anyways, this show is basically Agatha Christie's 10 Little Indians on top of the world, and that's it's in a very remote region in Antarctica. It's at this billionaire's like gigantic hotel / billionaire retreat from the apocalypse. He invited like a group of some of the brightest people in the world for this like party conference, and a young woman by the name of Darby, who was a freelance investigator of serial killers. You remember like how they caught the Golden State Killer? She's one of those internet
sleuths.
Yeah, internet sleuths, reached out to communities.
I have been hearing about this.
Yeah. Anyways, she and her ex partner, a man named Bill Farron, are both invited to it. Basically, throughout the series, and that the people are dying one by one.
It's like the fall of the House of Usher.
Kinda, except it's a hacker at work.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, it's very creative in the way it explores that. So
intriguing. Are these hour-long episodes, or are they
pretty much an hour long? Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off. Hawk.
That's okay. Yeah, they're about an hour long. There's a few names in it. Like, the lead actress, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name at this point. She's excellent in the role as Darby. Has Clive Owens.
Emma Corrin.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's Clive Owens as this billionaire, and Andrews, Britt Marling stars. Yeah, a few very good character actors. I don't know if anybody, Raul Esparza from he used to be on Law and Order.
I see Alice Braga on there. I know her from a few things.
Raul Esparza, Broadway star?
That's where you would know him from. I know him from Law and Order and Hannibal. He played Dr. Chilton in Hannibal.
He played Bobby in Company, which was the show I just...
Yes. Also has Joan Chen in it. She was one to play Josie Picard way back in Twin Peaks, back in the 90s.
Interesting.
So far, like I said, it's about halfway. I think it's like half or more than halfway through in that. But so far, it's been the one I'm most excited to come back to each week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dave.
My favorite TV series?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, any
So-
TV series this year.
So I think it's got to be I Think You Should Leave season 2.
Mhm. I haven't watched any.
It is the most memeable show. I think it's season 2, maybe it's season 3. It's been a while because I watched it over the summer. But it's the guys who did the Detroiters.
It's on season 3 right now.
Yeah. It's the guys who did the Detroiters. You probably see the memes everywhere from season like 1 and 2. And oh man, now I'm like, oh yeah, but what about Taskmaster and blah blah blah? No, but that show like super quotable, super weird. It is super weird comedy. It's basically a ton of sketches that never would have made it on SNL because the lead was on SNL and basically none of his sketches ever got picked up. And then he made the Detroiters with another phenomenal sketch artist, and then now they have this show, and now it makes me want to go back and watch the Detroiters. So
I've never heard of this show.
I've
yeah,
never
it came
watched
out
this
of nowhere, and everybody at school, like all my friends were like, "Oh yeah, of course I know that show," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I've never watched an episode of the show, but I can't count how many times I've watched the hat sketch on YouTube.
Right.
That kills me.
Everybody's seen the. You sure about that? Are you sure about that? You know that, like everybody's seen that. That's from that show. It's. I don't want to say anything. You should just go watch it. Just go watch it. You'll laugh. Like here's the thing. It's not like constant laughs. Like some sketches aren't great, but then you get to another sketch and it just totally works. It's a lot of like mundane situations with it's usually mundane situations with people acting totally abnormally, and then everyone else either one of two things happens. Either everyone is like, you're acting weird, and that's the comedy, or everyone somehow turns and joins this person and acting so like abnormally.
It's very much like if you ever watched Mr. Show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's very much like it's like a Mr. Show type sketch show.
To me, it feels like a real life Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like that's what it reminds me of. Like it's that kind of. It's just absurdist comedy. Like,
do you need to start at season 1, or can you just start at 3?
I would, but I think the second season's maybe the best. But
that's the nice thing about sketch comedy shows is that you can pretty much jump into any season, right?
Yeah, I never know if there's like reoccurring characters that you need.
No, not really. No. But I got when I was in Calgary, I got my friends into this and Taskmaster, and
Taskmaster.
I couldn't believe we still quote the show. Like they're texting me and they're like just quoting the thing. It's not even sending somebody a sketch; it's quoting a sketch in a text message. That's the message, right? Is remember berries? Remember this thing? So
remember this thing that we liked? Yeah, I do remember that.
It's Ghostbusters. Fuck.
It's so weird, and like you never know what thing people are gonna like and what they aren't. So like the sketch that works on you may not work on anybody else you know, right? Like it's just,
that sounds amazing. But I do have a question.
It's really funny.
I have a question that I
just thought actually like based on the show. I just thought it was funny. This is what I got my brother for Christmas.
No.
Oh,
cool.
They have a new Bob Odenkirk and David Cross have a new podcast. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh shit!
It's just Cross's podcast.
Okay.
But Odenkirk was his first guest, and Cross also just released a brand new album or a brand new stand-up show. I'm watching it.
So something popped up on my Netflix like 2 days ago. I totally forgot it came out this year because I have no interest in watching it. Did anyone watch The Witcher this year?
Yeah.
How was it?
Bad.
Was it fuck?
Just wasn't interesting.
I watched 3 episodes and I couldn't finish it.
I watched the prequel show they did.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Which was very boring. Not like I don't think the show will do well without Henry Cavill because he's so likable. Even as like a gruff jackass, he's very likable, and it's hard to get people. Like a lot of shows, like Game of Thrones, have a lot of unlikable people that you're supposed to follow.
Yeah.
But Game of Thrones has so many people that you can pick one, right? Everybody kind of likes Ned Stark. So you always get, but these other shows were just like, why everyone's unlikable. And Geralt isn't in a lot of this season, and it's a lot of politicking with the wizards.
Oh, I
There were
the
like
books.
almost entire episodes that felt like there's only like 5 or 6, but it felt like entire episodes where he just wasn't around doing stuff.
Do we
My main
see?
problem is that every time there was a recurring character that wasn't Geralt or like the Yennefer or Ciri,
Mhm.
I had trouble remembering like where they were or where they ended off in the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even with
Yeah.
the recap. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Do we
it just-
see new Witcher, new Liam or Liam Witcher?
It's not out yet.
No, I wasn't sure if they just like teased it at the end or something.
No, they have, no. The season ends with like Geralt like walking away.
Oh,
But I suspect the show is trying to also do what The Witcher 3 did, which is at the end, or not at the end. Sorry, I don't. You play as Ciri. Like I think Ciri's supposed to be the main character of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Is what people don't realize after a certain point. So I think the show is trying to do that. But I don't know. She's a very young actress. I don't know if she can. As Freya Allen, I don't know if she can hold this show as the lead.
yeah. Well,
It's tough.
I find it weird that I have no interest in watching this show right now. I don't know if it's because I know that Henry's not coming back, or it's just like the
I think
prequel
it
movie
suffers from very confusing writing and direction all around.
and I love the books. Like I have them all, or at least I
Yeah.
enjoyed them.
But I just don't see that clear path through. I don't know where it's going. So
Let's move on
It-
to
it-
yeah.
I was gonna say it's quite possible the show won't return after the strikes. Like it probably won't come back. It
I
just
wouldn't
cut their
be sad
losses.
if it didn't.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's really looking forward to the
I'm looking
third
for,
Hemsworth.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the animated movie that's coming out in like what, a week or something.
The animated film, I think it was last year, was really good. It was
prequel
about
one, yeah.
Geralt's a kid. It was really good.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
really
and some
like
of those
it.
characters showed up in The Witcher season 1, and it were like, oh, I get the history now. Like it was the first half I thought was slow, but the second half was like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah,
like it's just like pure fighting.
Yeah,
really awesome.
And the new movie has the dude that did the voice in the video game as Geralt. So that's gonna be
something Cockles or Cox. I don't know. I've never played the games.
They're fun. All right, movies. Brent, what did you pick?
Air.
The movie that I need to watch now about Nike signing Michael Jordan for
The movie about a black man that's full of white people talking about a black man.
but I heard it's good from Brent. I picked Barbie because I thought it was brilliant. Dave, you start with the movie of the year for you.
Oh, it's probably also Barbie. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it's like a perfect movie.
It was.
Yeah,
right in the face and hidden everything. All right.
I can't think of anything else I would rather rewatch this year.
Hawk.
For me, it's Oppenheimer. Great movie. I mean, 3 hours, but like you don't feel it. I didn't feel it. I know some people would, but actually no, because that movie made bank. You know, like
They both
close to-
did.
yeah, close to I know Barbie topped it. Like that Barbie was over $1 billion. But Oppenheimer is pretty damn close in that for for basically what amounts to a big talkie this year. But it was.
That's what his generation calls the new.
Well, that's what they started calling them when they had sound, right?
Yeah.
When it wasn't just an orchestra playing music, a live orchestra playing music. Hawk, you remember those days, right?
But for a movie that doesn't have like a superhero, a car chase sequence, or anything like that, it's still the most exciting, interesting movie.
That's because it has big booms.
It
boom.
had a big boom in that, and like a ton of history in that. Like I really wish I knew more about the players involved in that because it was so deep.
PBS released a documentary on Oppenheimer this year in correlation with this film, and they talked to Christopher Nolan during it as well. So if you can get a hold of it, you should watch it. It's really interesting.
I probably should. Yeah, I bought my uncle was over this year, and that we went and saw it together, and that, and I ended up like buying the book for him, and that because he wanted to read it. The American Prometheus book came out years ago,
which inspired the film, right?
Yeah.
Is the Blu-ray out for this movie yet?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
feel
is
like I should pick
out. I know there's a 4K release too. So, and everybody's saying like get the 4K release because
That's
it looks
just what
brilliant.
I do anyways.
Yeah,
Placing all
but-
the Blu-ray players.
No, it was. I think it's the finest film like Nolan's done so far. I don't know what he's going to do
Better
next
than The
after that.
Prestige.
Better than
Better
the
than The Prestige.
Better than
Oh.
the Prestige and that,
Prestige
because
is
this
so
had
good.
all those
The
elements.
Prestige
and
is a
that.
perfect movie.
I know it was. I know,
And
I
it's
love The
entertaining. I
Prestige.
don't know if Oppenheimer was entertaining. Is the
I found it
thing.
very entertaining in that. Just like the waters, this guy waited in that just to be the first, to get there. He had that vision and that, and then he he had to basically acquire all the tools and that. Like that scene where you find out basically it took like 6 weeks to teach himself Danish just to go study with one of the best theorists in Europe.
Niels Bohr.
Yeah.
Well, isn't a lot of the actors were saying that if Nolan wasn't a filmmaker, he could be a physicist.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think if he'd picked that instead of filmmaking, maybe we'd be on Mars now if he'd picked that instead.
It explains how he was able to make the bomb
weird.
practical.
You're actually describing Oppenheimer that when you talk about Nolan, because Nolan's a director in that, the guy, and basically that's what Oppenheimer was the director in that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He knew how, he knew all the pieces. Just needed the players and the resources to get it done. Which is kind of the brilliance of the guy in that. One person can just was on the team was designated to the ignition device. One person was for this. But it was the second half of the movie, post-war and that, and basically what happened to him and that, where that guy Louis Strauss basically orchestrated himself, the implosion of Oppenheimer's entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I really wanted to know more about the kind of the little players and that. There's a scene I keep remembering in that. Remember when he meets Colonel Pash?
Mm-hmm.
This guy who was vehemently anti-communist, even went to Russia to fight communism, and he was the one collecting names and that about scientists that attended meetings. Yeah,
Brilliant.
Anyway,
It was a brilliant movie. Well, we got 4 of us now. Started with 2, doubled in numbers. Got some good picks. I really want to know what you guys are looking forward to next year, though. I know what movie I'm looking forward to next year because Hawk sent me the trailer 3 days ago when I was dying at the hospital. And
yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for Civil War.
Alex Garland's Civil War.
Alex Garland's next movie.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I've not seen it.
Well, let's show you. Because
I don't know if it can top. He's got I love Ex Machina. Annihilation is amazing.
I love Annihilation. I wish
agree.
I kind of got more of a reception because it's a brilliant movie.
You ready, Brent?
Hang on, give me 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Let's just say he's got a budget working behind this one.
This one. Oh, this. Yeah. Okay.
Why would it need a budget? He made Ex Machina.
Oh,
$3 million, right?
You don't have to show it. It's A24. I'll see it.
Yeah, I'm going to play it anyway because I want to watch this trailer.
That doesn't make any sense. They don't make movies. They just put them out there.
They pick good. They produce good movies. That's
They pick movies that are cheap to make. That should be good. Wait a minute. We already saw The Last of Us this year.
I'm definitely in.
Have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens? We're moving to D.C. today.
We need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death. What
Every time I survived a war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Move, move, move!
You're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go, 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 go!
God bless America.
Do they really expect people to believe that Texas and California would work together?
Yeah, that's the only other thing.
I've already had I have friends in the former U.S. military, and they've already explained how none of that makes any sense. It would never work.
Which is fair. I'm looking forward to
Thank
the
God.
Is there any other trailer movies you want to see next year? Ghostbusters?
Well, I haven't
Brent?
seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet.
Oh, I got to see that movie too.
If you start watching it now, it should be done by the time we get to next year.
I haven't seen The Creator yet. That's on my list.
That's on Disney Plus in 2 days.
Okay.
I'm such a bad geek. I haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse yet.
You and me both.
It's very good. You should watch it.
It's on my list to watch over my holiday
That's
break.
good, yeah.
So
that's coming very soon too. I think it's
If you haven't watched The Covenant yet, that's Guy Ritchie's film from this year. Very good.
Oh yeah, that came out early this year.
Jake Gyllenhaal, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd like to throw into the ring there. No One Can Save You. It's an alien invasion movie, and it's very, very good.
Oh yes, I did see that one.
Yes.
What's it on?
Yes.
Disney.
I think we're getting
that's an alien movie?
Yes, it is.
Oh shit! I thought it was a
It's
horror
like
movie.
it's like an alien / home invasion.
I
kind
mean,
of
if you
crossover.
look at the poster for this movie, it looks like an alien movie.
That's not the poster I've seen though.
Almost no dialogue in the movie.
Oh, it's on Hulu in the States. That's why it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, that reminds me. I watched that with Silent Night, the new Joel Kinnaman one.
Oh, how's that? The John Woo film.
It's a John Woo film.
Nice.
It's a nice little return for him. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the greatest movie in the world, but I like the attempt that they made of having a movie with zero dialogue in it.
Isn't it Punisher?
No, it's Joel Kinnaman, RoboCop.
Yeah, no, but like, isn't it the basic premise?
Oh, in the
like-
story, yeah, it's essentially Punisher.
Yeah.
Is it better than Face Off?
No.
Is it better than Broken Arrow?
Not to my opinion, no. But
Really?
I love Face Off and Broken Arrow.
Because obviously it's not
those are
better
nostalgia
than
candy for me.
It's not better than anything with Chow Yun Fat. So.
Oh
that's-
God no.
Well, that's like bottom of the barrel, John Woo. Like, is it better than Hulk?
Wait, is
Yes.
is it better than Mission Impossible 2?
Dude, the Hulk.
I would say yes. I was not a fan of Mission Impossible 2.
Okay,
That's maybe the worst Mission.
I just
Impossible.
it's a better movie than Broken Arrow, but I just have such nostalgia for Broken Arrow. I love
Broken
that
Arrow's
movie 'cause-
Broken Arrow's amazing. That
Yeah.
movie's-
but
There's
no,
no
it's-
90s
it's-
movie like John Woo 90s movies in America.
It was really good. Like it is. I mean, you're getting what you get with it. It is Death Wish directed by John Woo.
Maybe we
With
should do
nobody talks.
Maybe in the new year we'll do what we're looking forward to this year. We'll not do it tonight. It's too
Yeah,
late.
I
I'm
know.
too tired.
I don't even know any movies that are coming out next year. I just learned Civil
I just
War.
wanted to show the Civil War trailer.
There's a bunch of ones coming out. One off the top of my head, Nosferatu by Robert Eggers is going to be.
Is it one of the Kang movies coming out next year from Marvel?
Deadpool 3 is supposed to come out.
Oh,
a new
Deadpool 3.
Transformers 1, whatever that is. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh shit.
The Fall Guy, that's the new Ryan Gosling with whatever. Furiosa is coming out.
Oh,
Dune
yeah.
Part 2.
Dune
Part 2.
Yeah,
Gladiator 2 comes out next year too.
The Borderlands movie is apparently finally coming out next year. Bad Boys 4. They're doing a fourth.
There's a
Will Smith still has some damage to repair.
Excuse me for a minute. My dogs are.
No worries, Hawk. I don't think we're gonna be on much longer anyway. So let's
There's
just say
a Wicked movie coming out. That'll make
Wicked
Eric
Part
happy.
1. Anyway, we'll
Wait,
see you
Hawk,
guys. Thank you guys for coming and chatting with us this year. We'll be back in the new year, January sometime. We have to change the schedule because I have seminars on Monday nights, so we'll figure out something. But thank you guys for coming and chatting about your favorites of this year. Thank you out there for listening. We'll see you soon. We'll talk about all this random shit in the new year, and we'll do some games or something. I don't know. Well,
Games.
Yeah.
thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next year. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.